Hello and welcome back to the second UCL review of the season. Joining me today is Sam Obaseki, fresh from meeting Jack Grealish.
Yeah,
how was
man, he's a cool guy, man. Proper cool guy.
Really?
That video is going to come out soon, so stay tuned.
Yeah, we might get Jack Grealish on a UCL review coming very soon. But let's talk first of all about PSG 3, Real Madrid 0, Sam.
Real Madrid got smoked in Paris, and I can't lie, it was a crazy night. They completely got outplayed by PSG. It was a 3-0 defeat with 2 goals coming from Di Maria and 1 coming from Thomas Meunier in the 91st minute. This means Los Blancos have lost consecutive Champions League games for the first time since 2013 under Jose Mourinho. This was also their joint heaviest defeat on the opening match day of the group stage campaign since 2005. And Real Madrid didn't really look like they ever got into the game. They struggled to get control in the midfield and they failed to register a single shot on target. Obviously, they had that shot, that amazing goal that was disallowed from VAR.
I was gutted. We were all getting very excited.
That was an amazing goal. And it was
correctly ruled offside.
Yeah, it was correct.
Correctly ruled for handball.
It was correct, but I do think that is a striker or a wide man should get the benefit of the doubt there. It literally just brushed his elbow.
I know, came down. And I also thought he readjusted his body quite well because it did delay the ball quite well.
Yeah.
And when he hit it, I was like, that's going way over the bar. And then we were just on the stream and it just dropped in.
Yeah.
We all went nuts, but not to be.
To be fair, he was probably their best player in the game. He had 2 aerial duels, 2 dribbles and 3 shots. Eden Hazard, my guy, however, struggled to get into the game. He was replaced on the 70th minute. He provided just 1 key pass and only had 1 shot off target, even though it was an all right shot.
Yeah, it was a good effort.
Yeah.
And he completed some dribbles as well. They just struggled to get him into the game. He just seemed a little bit spare at times.
Yeah, this does, however, put a lot of pressure on Zidane, who has just won 43.8% of his games since returning in March. You ain't got Ronaldo anymore. I'm not going to say he's the one that was carrying you, but it is looking that way, especially in the Champions League where they've been so dominant in the past years.
100%. Yeah, it's a really worrying defeat for Zidane. Heaps pressure on him. Madrid papers, canning him this morning. But yeah, he had this to say after the game.
Nos han superado en todo, en el juego, en la media, pero sobre todo lo que me molesta es sobre todo en la intensidad que a este nivel, a esta altura de la competición, bueno, es complicado si tú no entras en la intensidad mismo, que empezamos bien los 15 primeros minutos, pero nos ha superado sobre todo la media y ha sido complicado, sí.
But this was a massive result for PSG. They were comprehensively outplayed the last time they played in March 2018 in the last 16. They lost 5-2 on aggregate. And it was really impressive considering that this was without their first choice frontline as well. Neymar out suspended, Mbappe and Cavani injured. But they still managed to dominate the game. They had 53% possession. They had 9 shots to Real Madrid's 10. But as we said before, they managed to get 5 on target, whereas Real Madrid didn't get a single 1 on target, which was the first time they've done that in 167 matches dating back to 2003-04, which is pretty damning. XG had the game at 2 to 0.7 in the Parisians' favour, and PSG have now found the net in 25 Champions League matches in a row, which is the current longest run in the competition and the 4th longest in Champions League history. The longest was actually 34 by Real Madrid in up to April 2014, I should say. Di Maria had a phenomenal game as well. He really wanted it. You could tell against his former club, who sort of got rid of him for James Rodriguez in the end of 2014. Left, obviously, with that Champions League final man of the match display in 2014, but phenomenal on the night here. 85% pass accuracy. 95 would be quite crazy. 4 dribbles, 3 shots, 2 goals. He became just the 3rd player in Champions League history to score at least twice in a game against Barcelona and Real Madrid, after Andriy Shevchenko, and bonus points in the comments below if you can get the other one. He now has 20 goals in the competitions in 100 games, so it was his 100th game last night, and what a way to bring it up, which actually puts him behind Griezmann, Suarez and Mandzukic in the goal scorer rankings, so pretty elite company for a midfielder there. Other key performers, we've got to talk about Idrissa Gueye. Everywhere on the night.
He was all over the place.
Playing in a sort of, similar to a role Kante played under Sarri last year, sort of box to box, which we haven't seen so much of him do. He was everywhere. He was phenomenal. 6 tackles and interceptions, 3 dribbles, 93% pass accuracy, 3 key passes, which was the joint most on the pitch, and that 1 assist. Phenomenal performance. Bernat played very well at left wing back as well, or left back I should say. And PSG are now favourites in a group which contains Club Brugge and Galatasaray. But both sides have enormous games this weekend. PSG travel to Lyon on Sunday, whereas Real face early La Liga table toppers Sevilla. So Madrid fans, we want to hear from you guys. Are you worried by this result? If I was you, I would be slightly. And PSG fans, does this mean that you can finally break your hoodoo in the Champions League and get to that first, even a semi-final? I would suggest they look in pretty good form. Yeah. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. And let's move on to Atleti Juve.
Before we get on to the next section, you've heard it before, you're going to hear it again. Subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with all our latest content. But, Doogie, where are we moving to?
Yeah, as I said before, Atleti Juve, because Atleti overturned a 2-0 deficit to draw 2-2 thanks to a 90th minute Hector Herrera equaliser. But first, we're going to talk about Juve. It was a bizarre team selection by Sarri that saw Matuidi, Khedira and Pjanic start, and Rabiot and Ramsey again benched. It's slightly worrying for Rabiot, actually. So far this season, he's just played 27 minutes. Obviously came in with a big reputation on the pitch and an equally big reputation off the pitch, but hasn't really gone for him so far. Sarri's trusting the sort of old guns at the moment.
Yeah, he's really trusting the old heads. I don't think it's except for Mandzukic, who hasn't even featured.
He hasn't played a minute,
yeah,
which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, Khedira started the season pretty well against Parma. Matuidi's played well in patches as well, but maybe it's time to blood the youngsters. I mean, last night, the average age of the team, which excluded De Ligt, was 31.5. The average age of the front six was 32. Despite the ageing midfield, the old lady took the lead thanks to 31-year-old Juan Cuadrado. Great finish, cuffed it in on his left. It was so nice.
I think the crowd was even shocked when that went in. The crowd was just silent.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why. It's his first goal since March 2018 against Parma. And then 32-year-old Blaise Matuidi doubled the lead against the run of play. Ronaldo, really nice run down the left, excellently weighted pass, I should say, to Alexandro. Crossed it in first time. Blaise Matuidi, lovely header. And at this stage, you're thinking Juve surely will see out this game. But it was slightly against the run of play in the end, because Atleti took 19 shots with 8 on target to Juventus' 11 with 4. So they came back into the game with a vengeance. XG actually had this down at 2-1 win to Atleti. And Simeone's side sort of turned in one of their best attacking performances of the season. They're averaging just 8 shots per 90 this campaign. But there are some worrying elements to this result.
Yeah, they're not shooting.
No.
And Diego Costa,
not creating good chances.
Even though I love him, he didn't have a single shot in that game for the main striker. That is quite worrying. But thankfully, João Felix had 5 shots. But the next highest was Jimenez, who was playing centre-back with 4. So you can tell that they're super reliant on set pieces.
Yeah.
Another star man in their defence is new right-back Kieran Trippier, who was their most outstanding player, creating a whopping 7 chances from right-back. Obviously, he does take all of their set pieces, so that does play a part in it. But Trippier last night had 1 assist, 3 clearances, 4 tackles, and 100% dribbles. Another key performer was Stefan Savic. Not only did he lead the comeback with Atletico Madrid's first goal, he was defensively sound, recording 3 interceptions, /blocks, and 6 clearances. However, this was the 3rd game in a row that Atletico Madrid had conceded 2 goals. Wow. They did the same against Sociedad, Eibar, and now Juventus. So Simeone, a defensively sound coach, will not be happy, and he did not look happy on the sideline for a majority
pulling his hair out.
Yeah, both sides will be in action on the weekend, with Atletico hoping to maintain their recent form in the league, and Juventus take on newly promoted Verona. So with Juve, it's a bit of a weird one. I don't really understand what Sarri's trying to do there. He keeps on switching it up. He's not really bringing in their newly signed players. So it's a bit strange.
It is a strange one, and some of their new signings haven't started particularly well. We were talking a bit about it last night on the stream. I don't mean to hammer a young player, but De Ligt hasn't looked like his Ajax form has really come through yet. Obviously, replacing Chiellini's out with an ACL injury, which is slightly concerning. But maybe it's the time to introduce the likes of Ramsey, Rabiot. Bernardeschi's played well in the minutes he's been given, but he's been pretty limited. Mandzukic hasn't played a single minute. So he's got options, and Dybala's not starting games either.
And he's starting Higuain. That one is still, is obviously he started the season quite well, but it's still strange. You've got Dybala on the bench. just play him.
And I don't think he can play 3 games a week now, Higuain, as well. So particularly when you've got, if you want to play him, fine, but maybe just keep him for the bigger moments. There's no harm in playing Dybala, and Cristiano Ronaldo's doing a good job on the left, but maybe move him more centrally.
And as you saw with their signings in the summer, they've got a bloated midfield, but Sarri seems to favour all of the old heads. I understand that obviously they've got experience in the league and in the Champions League. However, just take a chance with them, Sarri, because when you was at Chelsea, you was complaining you didn't have the players, and now you have them, so you've got to do the job. But let's move on to the next section.
Our final game that we're covering in depth takes us to Germany, where we're covering Bayern's victory last night.
Yes, they beat Red Star Belgrade 3-0 at the Allianz Arena. The last time these two teams played was 27 years ago when the Belgrade outfit beat Jupp Heynck's side in the European Cup semi-final. This was Bayern's 14th home win in 15 home CL games. I'd love to say Red Star Belgrade had a chance, but they didn't really. Bayern had 33 shots with 11 being on target. That was totally better than Red Star Belgrade, who only had 7 and had 0 which tested Neuer. However, despite Bayern's dominance, it took them 10 attempts before they broke the deadlock, with Kingsley Coman scoring an emphatic header from Perisic's beautiful cross.
Ball. So
Beautiful,
nice.
just dinked it straight in. The Frenchman now has a goal involvement every 68 minutes for club and country this season. Great to see him back at it after those horrific injuries that almost saw him losing love for the game.
Yeah.
The game was put beyond Milejevic's men in the 80th minute when Lewandowski bundled home their second goal. The Polish striker now has 10 goals in 7 starts for the Bavarian side this season. It also marked his 200th Bayern goal in just 249 appearances. Mad.
Yeah, very good. I mean, what an impressive record. And Thomas Müller also reached a milestone. The most Champions League appearances for the club on 106. He was subbed on, which overtook Philipp Lahm's previous record. The 30-year-old capped it off with a smartly taken goal in the 91st minute after quick thinking from Thiago Alcantara.
That was a quality free kick.
It was so nice, wasn't it? And it was his first of the season, in his 3 starts that he's made so far, although he has played really well, Thomas Müller. Whenever we sort of write him out of it, he always sort of comes back with a vengeance. He just goes for it. And the way he uses space is so clever. I think he's a really useful player to have in your squad, just never a massive goal scorer. But Thiago Alcantara completely ran the show. He made 7 tackles, completed 2 dribbles, made 2 key passes, provided an assist. He made 110 passes, he attempted 110 passes and completed 90% of them.
Wow.
Champions League debut for Coutinho at Bayern in the 10 role. He has 6 shots, 4 off target, 2 key passes and 4 dribbles, so very good all-round display. He was also one of 3 players in the Bayern side to take over 100 touches alongside Thiago and Kimmich, already becoming a key component in this early stage of his Bayern career. Shout out, though, to Red Star's captain, Nemanja Milunovic, who was tasked with containing Lewandowski. He made 15 clearances, 3 interceptions, 3 aerial duels, 1 and 2 tackles. So despite losing 3-0, he can be very happy with his night's work. Bayern now have Tottenham away and Red Star take on Olympiacos away, which will be a fascinating tussle to see who's sort of 3rd place in this group. We're sort of ruling out Spurs finishing 3rd, but they did have a disappointing draw against Olympiacos last night.
Yeah, they seem to have not started the season well. I don't know what it is, obviously with the transfer malarkey that was happening with Eriksen, but now they just don't seem settled.
No, 100%. I mean, key players in and out of the side, and Jan Vertonghen missed the start of the season. Christian Eriksen obviously wanted to leave. Been brought back in. I read this week that Pochettino was quite angry with Daniel Levy. He was either like, Christian Eriksen's made it clear that he wants to leave.
Yeah.
Please either sell him or persuade him to sign a new contract, because I can't have that unhappiness in my squad. But they've still got some quality players, and they played very well against Crystal Palace on the weekend. So I'm sure Spurs will come good at some stage. But yeah, that's all we have on Bayern Munich. But now we're going to do a slightly new section. We're just going to do a quick roundup of all the latest scores. I'm just going to go grab my phone. Okay, so as I said before, we briefly wanted to highlight the results in the other game, and good result for City.
Yeah, they look back to their ways. Obviously, the result on the weekend was a shock, but even though Stones is out, Fernandinho, as ever, the utility man of the year, slotting straight back into centre-back and getting a clean sheet. They won 3-0, comfortable win. Pep seems very happy. Rodri, man of the match performance. He had 100% pass accuracy all game. I don't think I've seen that ever, to be
It's
fair.
absolutely mental, and I think it's nice for Gabby Jesus getting a goal as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Really good performance, but we also need to talk about the other game in Group C, which was, by not like Man City, a massive shock. So Atalanta went away to Dinamo Zagreb and lost 4-0 with a guy called Orsic scoring a hat-trick. I haven't managed to catch the highlights of this game yet. I'm going to watch it over lunch, so I can't give you that much information, but continues to sort of disappointingly up and down start to the season for Atalanta. Their results have been a bit iffy so far. Obviously, they're still a fantastic attacking side. No one in Europe is taking more shots per game than, I think they're taking something like 20.6.
Wow.
That was at least before the game. Well, that wouldn't count, but in Serie A, 20.6 shots per game. Really impressive. They've obviously got some, Papu Gomez, Ilicic. They've got some fantastic players there. But yeah, on their first Champions League game, I think, first Champions League group game in quite a while. Really disappointing result for them. But shout out to this guy Orsic. I need to go do some reading on you. But hat-trick in the Champions League alongside Haaland these last couple of days. What a superstar. And go and check out my Team of the Week, which I think is being posted on EuroFootball Daily or Football Daily on Twitter and Instagram very, very soon. But yeah, that's our roundup of UCL review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So let us know what you guys thought about our comments and views in the comment section down below. And yeah, what should good people go and do now, Sam?
They should go and check out Squad Goals.
Yes.
Check out EFD, every bit of content that we have. Just check it out because it's good and it's daily.
It is daily. It is daily and it's relentless. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. Interact with us. We enjoy it, but don't create fake accounts because whoever's created Do You Critchley fake account, I'm not enjoying it. It's very creepy. But yeah, thank you very much for watching.
Thanks,
We'll
guys.
see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.